have you all here for a great night of basketball, community, and supporting an important cause for so many around us. Tonight's final game features the visiting team on the scoreboard, the Sanford School Warriors. And the home team on the scoreboard, the Salesianum School Sounds. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we do ask you please direct your attention to the floor and welcome the Executive Director for SL24. Please welcome Zach Ryan.
When I was a kid, I did what a lot of people do, and I thought about the future. Depending on the day or the year, I could have been dreaming about being a Ghostbuster or an NBA player. Neither of those panned out for me. Eventually, my thoughts changed. I thought about meeting the perfect person and having a family. Some dreams do come true. But one moment, I can't exactly pinpoint when, my thoughts and dreams about the future became less hopeful and more frightening. Statistically, around 20% of this group gathered here is going through something like this feeling right now. And many more have felt it before or will in the future. What feeling am I talking about? It's the feeling when you are in your car and you get to your destination and realize you weren't listening to any music, you weren't listening to a podcast. The only thing you could do was think about all the people you love who you are going to let down. They will know you are a failure. You have been clenching your jaw, you are sweating, you are panicked, you feel trapped. For everyone else, it looks like a normal Tuesday, and you hate that you don't know why you are the only one that feels that way. You aren't alone though, because perhaps the feeling you have is like what we have heard from one of our 41,000 young people who have visited Sean's room at any of our campuses or Sean's house in Newark. This person was one of our guests, and they shared a poem about their 15th birthday. They said, quote, "Even the idea of a perfected birthday faded. Your friends faded, your life faded, you are fading. You may feel that way. I have felt that way." This SL24 community hears you and sees your light even when you don't. The average gap between experiencing a mental health symptom and getting help is 11 years. 11 years feeling this way is a lot for anyone to manage, and it understandably feels like forever. But as another poet, Emily Dickinson, said, "Forever is composed of nows." As in right now, you can talk to someone because you are not alone. You are not a burden because of your depression or your anxiety. And you are not fading. Right now, there is one of the 270 young people like you who we have trained to be a peer support at Sean's house. They're ready to talk to anyone that is struggling. They're prepared to share their light with the 140th person who felt like they were fading. And they just needed someone to start a conversation about hope, about peace in their mind, and about resources. Right now, in this moment, you can share your light. You can be present for someone else. You can be brave, and we can stand together with a light so bright, nobody will wait 11 years to get help. Nobody will wait 11 days to get help. Together, we will shine a light that bright. Forever is composed of nows, so let's share our light right now. I'm proud to stand with Chris Locke, co-founder of SL24, Unlock the Light. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. You know, over this weekend, we've had the most teams that have ever played in the tournament. 18 teams, 240 basketball players. What a phenomenal weekend. You know, my son Sean loved being part of a team. And as I thought about it, he was on a team 18 of the 23 years he was alive. From his first Little League team at the age of 5 to his last playing days at the University of Delaware. He loved the camaraderie of a team, the working together for a common goal, bringing different people from various backgrounds to achieve success. He loved being part of that really togetherness and creating a rally of turning a game around in the final seconds to win the game, to be victorious, to achieve the success of being a champion. Those come from behind wins, they're magical. But they are also such a powerful reminder of what's possible when we show up for one another, when we stand by each other as a team. But you know, teamwork just doesn't apply to basketball. It also applies to our regular day lives. And our team through life is our family, our friends, our community. From our volunteers that showed up early yesterday morning and early this morning, some who have volunteered 20 hours this weekend, they are part of the SL24 team. From the tournament committee of Zach, Ange, Catherine, Trevor, Missy, Fallon, Sam, and Jean, who started working on this tournament months ago. They're part of the SL24 team. To our amazing 137 sponsors, who every year comes through to make this event possible. Each year they sign up. They're part of the SL24 team. And then all of you sitting in the stands, buying the merchandise, saying a kind word to me or to a volunteer. You are all part of the SL24 team. You know, all of us are part of a brotherhood, a sisterhood, part of a team. A team that I know Sean would so appreciate being part of. He would have loved this team and all that it has accomplished, how it rallied out of darkness to find the light of success. This is what SL24 is all about, to be part of the team, to help those find their voice, to ask for help. To be part of the team, to help those in their darkest hour. To be part of the team to help those in darkness to unlock the light. I am so proud to call each and every one of you my teammate. So, thank you. So as we do every year, I ask you to stand up now. Be on Sean's team. Help those find their light so they can be champions of their life. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please remain standing. At this time, please remove your caps, gentlemen, as we honor America and those that serve and protect our freedom both home and abroad. Tonight, presenting our colors, please welcome Airmen from the Dover Air Force Base. Ladies and gentlemen, here tonight presenting her rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. Please welcome Kimberly Schroeder.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's hear it for the Dover Air Force Base and Kimberly Schroeder.
Annual SL24 Basketball Classic. We get set for the final game of the weekend. Sally's and Sanford from the Chase Fieldhouse in Wilmington, Delaware. Thanks again, everyone, for being with us here for the 7th annual tournament. Our final game of the weekend, game number 9. Mike Corey alongside Bill Harmon, SL24 board member and coach. And great to see you, Bill. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for all you did last night to get the tournament off to an amazing start with 3 games, and now here to close it out.
Well, Mike, thank you. It's always a great honor for me to be a small part of this function. Great to work with you. You've done this for so many years. It's always a great time. I think we're going to have a superb game here tonight. two interesting teams, maybe the best 3-10 team in the history of the state of Delaware, and then a Sanford team who's as good as anybody right now. But more importantly, we know why we're here, and we're here for the great talk before and for the Sean Locke Foundation. It's just an absolute pleasure to be seated next to you.
Great to be with you. Thank you. Can't you believe this is the 7th annual tournament? I mean, it feels like we just got this thing started, and now I can't wait to see what we end up with this weekend. Already $2.2 million raised in 6 years. Looking forward to closing this out on a high note here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. The crowd's great. This is an electric arena, and I think we're going to have a really competitive game here. It'll be great for the fans and great for the cause.
All right, so let's talk about this game coming up here. Sally's and Sanford rivalry matchup. I know one team's not having quite the season that we were hoping to, but it's kind of one of those things where it doesn't matter, right? When these two teams get together, it could be anything that could happen.
These games are always highly competitive. They're good players on both sides, well coached. Khalid Hart and Taylor Trevison. Sally's embarked on a really difficult out-of-state schedule. They've had a little bit more trouble in-state with a couple tough games, but this team is much better than their record. They love to get up and down. They're physical. They've got an outstanding player, Robbie Johnson, who can change the dynamic of the game. Sanford, on the other hand, has also played a difficult schedule, but they have tremendous guard play, and they've got an outstanding player in Jaden Taylor, who's going to be attending the University of Delaware.
Okay, look forward to seeing them in action here as we get set for the start of this one in just a little bit. Once again, the ways to donate for the SL24 Foundation, you can visit unlockthelight.com/donate, givebutter.com/SL24 Classic 7. You can scan the QR code with your phone, and you can also text Classic 7 to 53555. Anything helps. We're looking forward to seeing what our total will be. We'll find out between the third and fourth quarter of this game tonight as we hear from the co-founder we just did, Chris Locke of the SL24 Foundation. The online auction's been going on, Bill. We've had a lot of great bids on some items there. The St. Mark's tuition, autographed Jalen Carter Eagles jersey, island vacation getaway packages, and much more. So the auction's online as well throughout the end of here tonight. And then the merchandise online as well. And of course here at the field house with t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, beach towels, and much more. All the funds and the money goes directly to help support Sean's house, the SL24 Foundation, and now Sean's rooms, which are being developed at the schools at St. Mark's High School, Salesianum, the warehouse in Wilmington, Delaware, and soon to be open the St. George's one in their high school as well.
It is just fabulous, the statewide response. So much of it has to do with Chris Locke and the rest of the board. They've just been so instrumental in getting so many things done. I'm guessing you're going to take that vacation to Antigua, Mike.
I'm going to try to get that. I know,
As hard as you're working throughout the fall and winter, you deserve a little trip down to the Caribbean.
First, we need some time to be able to do that, right, Bill? Absolutely. But no, it's great. We're going to have a lot of great stuff to announce later on with the winners of that and our total here for this 7th year of the SL24 Basketball Classic. Final game, Sally's and Sanford. Let's get into it a little bit more here throughout high school basketball in the state of Delaware, which you're very involved in, Bill. There's been some amazing talent that we've witnessed this entire weekend, not just in this game here tonight, but some special players, both on the men's and women's side, if you will, too. And it's got to be pretty impressive to you what you've seen over the years and how it's grown.
It's so impressive that unfortunately I have to coach against a lot of them, and it makes it even more difficult. But I think the trend has been that more young players now are playing at a very early age. Last night, Holden for St. Elizabeth's, who's probably the second or third best team in the state. He started as an 8th grader last year. He's now a veteran 9th grader and had a great game. A sophomore, Alexander, had 4 threes against us in the clutch. So all these teams have a lot of really good players, but in this game, I think 2 of the older players may be the most dominant. Now, I see that Johnson may not start. We'll see what's going on there, but he is incredibly impactful. Lefty, he's also a football player going to Rutgers, played for Gene Deladon's team that fortunately this year finished 2nd to Middletown. And Jaden Taylor, who's had an outstanding career at Sanford for Khalid Hart and others, is a terrific player. He is one of the most springy jumpers I've seen, impactful around the rim, can play in the open court.
Getting set for the start here tonight with Sanford and Sally's in our nightcap. 9th and final game. 9 games of the tournament this year was great. Tell us a little bit about how Friday night went last night with the 3 games right here in this building.
I thought the addition of the 3rd game, even though it was my team and St. Elizabeth's at the 4:30 slot, I just think it added a little bit more excitement. It was a fun game. Our team competed well, but St. Elizabeth's a little too good. St. Elizabeth's can play with anybody in the state. They are loaded with talent. Mike Cassidy, their head coach, is doing a great job with that team. So I expect them to be around. But then the girls' game that followed, Padua had a really nice effort to beat St. Mark's women's team. And then the nightcap with DMA going against St. Mark's in the men's game was exciting. DMA hung in there for most of the game, and then just a little bit more of an effort by St. Mark's down the stretch allowed them to get the win.
The teams in competition, you said your team with Archmere and St. Elizabeth's, St. Mark's and Padua on the girls' side, St. Mark's and DMA on the boys. We had Howard and Smyrna on the girls' side today, along with Kennett and Archmere. St. George's and Joshua
they're a team to watch.
Oliveira,
They are loaded with talent. They can play up-tempo and they can play at a slow pace. I didn't hear the score of the game. I'm not surprised they had a great outing here.
Yeah, they won handily over Polytech. And then Ursuline with Gigi Banks, who's only a sophomore. Her athleticism and skill, we'll be seeing her in Division I basketball in a couple of years. They got by Baltimore and Polytech in a good game in our 4 o'clock matchup. Odessa and Middletown, a fight to the finish as we would expect with those two. Odessa pulled it out, and now here's Sally's and Sanford.
Odessa's program has been improving every season. They are now ranked in the top 5. They are going to be somebody to contend with. And what a great rivalry matchup. Odessa and Middletown, obviously in the contiguous area down there, fighting for a lot of the same players. Good to see a team like Odessa, who's risen up through the ranks, doing so well.
All right, so here we go. Final game tonight. The 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic. Also, the ability just when you come here and you see all the family, all the friends, all the people that you know coming back to help support this cause year after year. Some people have moved on to other places, but they come back. They want to come back and they want to be a part of this. That's what's most, enjoyable, right? And in this state, the way everyone comes together for things like this.
Well, we're only about 1 million strong in this state, and everybody kind of knows there's maybe 1 degree of separation. Last night was really a great homecoming. I saw a lot of people from St. Mark's that I haven't seen in a year or so. It was great to catch up. A lot of our ex-players. A really fun night, but the environment was superb last night. A credit to Chris Locke and also Trevor Cooney, who did a tremendous job of organizing this schedule.
Our officials tonight, Mike Sneed with Shannon Daniels and Michael Whitfield, as we are underway here. Sanford in white, Sally's in blue, from the Chase Fieldhouse in Wilmington, Delaware.
Both teams are going to play man-to-man. They're very pressure-oriented, especially Sanford loves to get out in pressure.
No good on the opening shot for Sanford. The rebound here by Sally's as they working up the floor for Latrell Wright.
Latrell Wright came over from Coach Chris Carlson's Conrad program, and he's really been a big factor, an excellent player, a good hybrid guard, can play outside and can play inside if needed. Great distributor.
They kick it out to the baseline, and the jumper is in and out, but a follow is there by Kevin Coleman.
Kevin Coleman, over from Tower Hill, played there last year. He is a really fine wing player. He's very athletic, can shoot the ball from the 3, but very active around the glass.
Kareem Hart has it here for Sanford. Up top for Eldgood. Nice pass underneath, and an easy 2. Jaden Taylor on the feed from Nico McNeil.
Sally's just lost Taylor on the weak side. That wasn't really a lob. That was just a find him with the defense getting their head turned. Taylor very active in his movement patterns.
Back to Wright with the first step, and the layup is good. How about that? You just talked about him, Latrell Wright.
Incredibly creative with his finishes, both right and left hand. He's an excellent jumper, but he's had a lot of experience, a senior who really knows how to play.
Kick out to the wing here for Hart. Pulls into the lane. The runner is no good, and it's rebounded by Sally's as Coleman has it. Right again. How about the move so far here as we've seen, and a traveling violation on Dominic Downs that time.
Sally's prefers to play an up-tempo game, as does Sanford. but I think you don't want to play at Sanford speed. They create a lot of offense out of their defense. They can get up and down. Let's not forget this court's about 4 feet longer than most of the high school courts, so I don't think fatigue will be a factor, but it's always just different, kind of getting your bearings on a longer court.
Oh, what a turnaround jumper here from Jaden Taylor for Sanford.
Taylor's not known as a three-point shooter, but he's really good in the mid-range. That turnaround there, what I like about him is he's so quick off the floor, very springy legs. Obviously, the weight room's helped him out quite a bit.
And a steal knocked away. Kareem Hart has it, gets into the front court here for Elgood. Now finds the cutter, and that's McNeil. Dumps it inside. The run on Elgood by Hart. And sallies quickly the other way here with Coleman. And he finds the cutter, and the basket's good.
Terrific job of running the court by the freshman.
Elgood here for Sanford. Sallies leads it by 2. DJ Jones, no. And had the hand on the rebound for the moment was McNeil, but it got taken away. Good job there by Downs for Sallies.
One thing when you play Sanford, you've got to watch out for their guards sneaking in to the offensive glass.
Downs for 3.
Downs has excellent range on his long-range shot. He's been a little inconsistent throughout the season, but he's starting to get more confident, and they will look for him consistently running off some stagger screens. An excellent player, especially when he's able to spot up.
Taylor up top, Elgood, and way off the mark on that shot. It's a 9-4 Sallies lead with 4:33 to go first quarter.
Well, I don't think Coach Trevison could ask for a better start. They've struggled a little bit getting off to what I would call good starts, and here they are against the best team in the state, at least ranked right at the moment. Couldn't ask for a better opening.
Nazir Logan controls it here for Sallies. Traveling violation.
That's a veteran Mike Sneed. He doesn't miss many. He's been around a long time, does a superb job. I think that's one thing about the officials in this environment. They really, I think, in the games I've watched and done, they've controlled the tempo of the game. They've called what has affected the game, doing a marvelous job for this entire foundation weekend.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Bill, it's a really good point. I mean, there has been some really good officiating here. They've been on top of the calls. They've kept it a clean game. Everyone knows why we're here for the right reasons. They haven't had any issues or any incidents, and that's what you want to see.
That's absolutely the best part about that.
Right. Pulled up mid-range here on the baseline. Taylor, that's no good. Rebound. And Kai Plenop has it for Sallies. Down the lane, runner by Wright doesn't go.
Occasionally Wright gets going a little fast and just can't find a way to get the ball up to the rim, but he is electric in the open court.
And a basket and a foul inside as Jones converts, and a chance for the three-point play for Sanford.
Jones, a lefty, only a sophomore, played some minutes last year, but he's really maturing. His role offensively is growing with every game.
How about that pass from Nico McNeil? They've got it in there for the 2 for Jones. Foul was on Dominic Downs. Sallies can't convert the three-point play, though.
If you're a big man, you want to play with McNeil and Elgood and Hart because they are willing distributors when they get into the lane. Nasir Logan on the drive, the senior, gets fouled. When you play Logan, not really known for his three-point shooting, he can shoot it, but he wants to be a driver first. You've got to have a little bit of a cushion and not allow him to get those straight-line drives.
3 minutes and 24 seconds to play in this first quarter here as Sallies leads it now 10-6. Let's welcome in our guest here in this first quarter, the executive director of the SL24 Foundation. Zach Ryan's with us here now. Thanks so much, man. Great to see you.
Zach, great to see you.
Another great speech to get us started off here tonight before this game. And what an amazing weekend. Tell us how it's going from your perspective.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, last night, packed house, just an amazing message. Olivia singing. I mean, just really kickstarted the event in a really special way. And then it just continued. The momentum has continued. And it's momentum for an important mission, right? It's momentum to, fuel that educate, assist, and support journey for so many young people, and they need it. They need it for their mental health. We see it all the time with the people that come through Sean's house.
We've seen tremendous support here this weekend, too, as well. We've talked to a lot of people, a lot of staff members, a lot of people that you work with that, you know, make this all possible. The foundation, Sean's house, people involved in Sean's rooms. And I thought the big part that we talked about was the education, right, is getting everyone to understand everybody's got a special case. You need to learn and know what's our best way and course of action to help these people, right? You do that with your peer support program. I think it's just vital for everyone in general, right, to be able to offer the assistance that's needed by the individuals themselves.
Well, and Mike, you kind of touched on it in the beginning of what you said. You talked about my team. And Chris said it. We don't do it without a team. It takes a brotherhood, a sisterhood. And I'll tell you what, my team, just like me, you heard it in the speech, like we struggle. We all have a lived experience. So many of the people that I work with, I count on them, but I know every day can be difficult because they might experience another challenge. And so we navigate that together. And so that education piece is sharing stories because it's individual and it's unique, and we want people to be able to see different voices and perspectives.
Foul on the rebound here as McNeil got it for Sanford. I think the best thing about this weekend, too, is we have all these young players and people on both sides, girls and boys basketball, and they're getting to know and learn and see this at a very young age, right? We're hitting them early with this, that it's okay. Let's get out there, let's talk about it, and let's get the help that we need.
Well, and I feel really comfortable sharing this, having worked at Salesianum for 12 years. I know Nasir, and Nasir Logan is just an amazing young man. And he was at media night, and he talked about being a role model for others. Well, what do we want him to be a role model for? Saying it's okay to get help. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to say, I need my teammates. I need a community around me. And I was really proud when Nasir said that in the media day. I just knowing where, like, how far he's come as a person. That was amazing. And Sanford, I mean, they're back here. So many of these players are returning. So they know this message. They know that it's more than a game. They know that, like, it's their kind of responsibility and blessing to share the light, but also accept light from others.
Tied at 11 here. Bill, how about for you as a coach, right? To not only understand what these players need to do on the court, but off the court. I mean, and the responsibility that I know you have personally, and you've helped many, many young people over the years. Let's talk about that for a second.
Well, I think you're a little too kind, but I think the most important thing with young men, in this case, because I coach the men's teams, you've got to be consistent with your message. You've got to let them know that you care about them, not only on the court, but off the court. And I think that's really important. You've got to also be extremely honest with them. And that's one thing I always tell guys that I interact with. You may not always like what I tell you, but I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I'm always going to tell you the truth. And I think being consistent, letting them know that you're always working for them, trying to help them be better people first and players second, I think is one of the real keys that all coaches should probably strive to do.
First pieces we talked about with the education, how big and important is the assist piece, right? I mean, and what you guys are trying to do there too.
So, you know, when somebody comes into Sean's house, you know, our peers are there to support them. But we're talking about young people that we train. I mentioned it's 270 young people that we've trained, and they're ready for a crisis case. You know, they're going to walk with them, but they know when their training stops and when there needs to be ongoing support from a professional. And so the assist piece is our mental health scholarship. So we are going to fund people that are maybe uninsured or underinsured, and they need some help getting the professional care they need on an ongoing basis. And so, you know, we don't ask questions. It is confidential, and it is ongoing in perpetuity as long as that young person needs it.
What's pretty awesome is that this weekend and the funds raised from this weekend are going to help support and keep Sean's house going for another year and years to come, really. I mean, the way that this has grown, and now the 7th year of this event. So it's admirable the amount of support that people are giving and what it's going to do to help keep Sean's house and the whole entire foundation going.
Well, and I want to say, too, I mean, Sean's house is in Newark, but we have people that drive up from Dover. And it's our goal to make this all throughout Delaware. And, you know, you've heard it when we talk about the Sean's rooms. We're at the Teen Warehouse, we're at Salesianum, we're at St. Mark's, and we're going to be at St. George's. So we are spreading and we are growing. And everybody that is listening to this broadcast, watching this broadcast, in the field house tonight, you have an opportunity to help it grow to a community that really, really needs it.
No doubt, no doubt. Azir Elgood on the basket here for Sanford as they go up 13-11 now With just 45 seconds to play in this first half, you're watching the final game of the 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic. Sally's and Sanford. The rivalry matchup here continues. 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. McNeil controls it. Talking with the executive director of the SL24 Foundation, Zach Ryan, with us here. McNeil over to Elgood. It's going to be a traveling violation. Coach, one thing I've been seeing all weekend here is that, there's no shot clock, okay? There's no shot clock. I was wondering, are they going to play for the final shot, or are they going to put something up here? What are you guys teaching right now when it gets down to last-second situations and a quarters games here?
Well, it depends who you are. I know at Archmere, we teach anything inside a minute unless we're down. We're going to hold for that last shot,
okay,
no matter who's getting the ball at the next quarter. So we're always going to play that way. To me, it's a math problem. We just want to reduce the amount of possessions the other team can have to attack us.
Zach, what other kind of message do we have here for the fans watching, listening, as we move forward into 2025 with SL24?
It's growth and expansion, because we know there's more kids in need. And I think the Locke family's goal has always been to prevent a tragedy like they saw in their family. And I remember the Locks coming in to talk to Salesianum when I was an educator. And they really changed the conversation. They changed the dialogue that a school of 1,000 boys who have tons of stigma and barriers in front of them, they changed and kind of took down those barriers and allowed young men to talk about their mental health. Okay, there's so many more barriers in other communities. It could be cultural, it could be economic, it could be stigma, in a home or in a school community. We're going to eliminate all this. That's what we have to do. We need to treat mental health like physical health, and we wouldn't allow people to suffer in this way.
It's a big year coming up. I can feel it, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at Kent and Sussex County as well, to make sure that we're kind of continuing to spread that message. It starts with the education piece. Chris and I are going and telling our respective stories. There's, you kind of open up a wound each time, but it's really important for people to hear that. And when you do that, you allow other people to kind of stop you afterwards and say, hey, no, I've felt that as well. So we want to bring that to even more communities. And then we want to bring that peer support on top of that. We don't just want to leave a community and say, okay,
right.
we want to, okay, here's some resources as well, and let's build something together. Because it's going to, take day by day, week by week, we got to keep building like a bigger Sean's house in Delaware. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like a proverbial Sean's house that can fit everybody.
Zach, thanks so much for everything. We appreciate it. All the best in this year, and great
Zach,
to be a part of it.
thank you, and best of luck throughout the rest of the year.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon. Zach Ryan, the Executive Director of the SL24 Foundation. We have reached the end of one. We'll be back with the start of the second quarter. Sally's and Sanford, our final game of the tournament, when we return right after this.
Partnerships built on relationships. That's our motto at CBM Insurance, and those words guide everything we do. We provide the best possible service experience because our focus is on the relationship first. When you join CBM, you join a team with an average of 20 years in the insurance industry, long-standing relationships with our carrier partners, and deep roots in our community. We stand ready to be your trusted partner and insurance advisor.
It's brutal, so slow.
Good thing we brought Jersey Mike's. Is that Danny DeVito?
Don't worry about me. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's. And at Jersey Mike's, the subs matter most. Freshly sliced right in front of you. That's what matters here. Almost forgot. I found your ball.
It's a rock.
Where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
We welcome you back to the 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic here from the Chase Fieldhouse in Wilmington, Delaware. Mike Corey, Bill Harmon. We get set to start the second quarter. It is a 13-12 game here, a one-point contest between Sanford and Sally's. Bill, what did you see in the first quarter there?
Well, unfortunately, a little bit of sloppy play. There were 5 travels in the first half. We had an inbounding error, but some pretty aggressive play out on the court. Both teams want to get up and down. They've subbed very frequently. My biggest question is, where's R.J. Johnson?
What do you think's happening here?
I do not know. He is a normal starter, probably plays 30 out of 32 minutes. We'll find out. The lefty, the terrific football player for Gene Deladon's program, going to Rutgers.
Talking about number 12 for Sally's here. See if he gets into action right now. Not on the court to start the second quarter. Ball knocked away. And it's going the other way to Sanford. And while we have a moment, it's time to bring in Joshua Shepard, a Sally's freshman who's with us here, a dedicated supporter and personal fundraiser of SL24. Joshua, great to see you, man. How are you doing?
Good to see you.
Josh, welcome.
Talk to us about, from your perspective, why you're involved, what you've done, and how important this is for you.
All right, so I first discovered SL24 actually at the SL24 Basketball Classic 2 years ago. So this is my third. It's something super important to me. I know people in my family, friends who suffered with mental health, and one of them actually took their own lives from it. So as my own family, it's something super important to us. The fundraisers, I mean, it's something so important to me. It's like myself, as I think mental health on its own, it's just something that's kind of looked over, like in the world, and I think it's something that should definitely have more attention brought to it.
And no doubt, and it's been very impressive to see this entire classic coming together for the people in the community, with your school, with everyone involved. I wonder, you know, when these players come to this event, it's a little bit more, as we know, than just a basketball game, right? What have you gathered from it, talking to your friends, teammates, and people at the school?
It's definitely not just a game. It's more of a tradition, as something now we've done for 7 years. Something everyone likes to go to. It's a much bigger event than just a normal school game. And I'd say now with the opening of our Sean's Room at Sally's, more people know about it. More people are starting to get involved on their own. Some of our juniors and seniors at Sally's are becoming their own peer specialists now for Sean's house. So it's definitely brought us more together, and
yeah. That's great. Bill, I mean, to be able to have a room there, right, and a place where people just on their own campus and in the school can go talk to people about what's bothering them to help. They don't have to wait.
And I'm sure, Josh, it's a room of safety. It's a place where you can go and be yourself, be open.
Yes.
And no matter what's going on with you, there's going to be somebody there to listen to you. And I think that's so important in today's day and age, not only with your age, but anyone.
Yes, definitely.
What kind of message would you like to get out for people of your age? And, you know, you're young, you're just getting going, but to learn this and hear this now as opposed to waiting, like, what would you say and reiterate to people that may be going through something, or why it's so important to be involved in this?
Okay, well, first, I think it's something super important, as, I mean, it's not a physical issue. It's something that it's on the inside, so anyone can have it. You could, your neighbor could have it, your friend could have it, parents could have it. So if you think someone needs help or needs someone to talk to them, help them. Obviously, we have the Sean's house, we have Sean's rooms. So we've definitely, in Delaware, we've definitely helped expand and help spread that message. So, yeah.
Really appreciate all that you're doing. Thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. Keep spreading the message at your school and beyond, because people like you, it starts here, right? It starts at this level, and you're continuing that for probably many, many, many more years to come. So thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Great to see you as well.
Josh, nice to meet you. Best of luck to you, son.
Joshua Shepard with us, Sally's freshman here, hanging out with us at the 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic, and doing some great work with this organization and helping spread the word and the message. Foul underneath, as Sally's will have it here with a 1-point lead.
Well, Sally's has done a really nice job of hanging in here without their star player. They've been able to compete in the open court. They've defended most of Sanford's actions fairly well. Taylor got off to a great start, which kind of buoyed Sanford, but Sally's has been able to repulse it. They've made some plays. The turnovers continue to mount up. There was just a traveling call at the other end for the 6-1 of the game.
So 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the second quarter. 14-13, Sally's with a 1-point lead. And a timeout here on the court. Mike Corey, Bill Harmon with you here for the 7th Annual Classic. We talked about the ways to donate, the online auction, the merchandise, and more, and help us make this another incredible year. Your donations, all the money raised, going to help support and fund Sean's House, the SL24 Foundation, all the Sean's rooms that are set up across the state as well. So we heard from Zach Ryan, the executive director. We hear their vision about expanding as much as they can. We have a young person here who's doing it right from the start. Okay, a freshman at Sally's. That's impressive, right? This affects everyone, and it's pretty cool to see the wide range of people that we have here, not only this weekend, but helping out this cause every day of the year.
What was so impressive to me about that young man was his maturity with a very complicated and difficult issue to talk about, no matter what the age.
Right?
You love his involvement. You love the way Sally's is getting involved. I don't know why every high school wouldn't want to have a room like a Sean's room in it, or whatever name they choose to call it. There are going to be issues from time to time with everybody, and having a place where you can go and feel you can be yourself and talk frankly with people, and knowing you're going to get support non-judgmentally, absolutely imperative.
And they're only adding to it. Nice pass inside as Jones scores it for Sanford, and it's back to a 1-point game.
Well, one thing Sally's has had a difficulty doing here is transitioning in their defense, getting back from offense to defense. That time, nothing you could do was a steal as Thomas fell to the floor.
Elgood almost got the basket and the foul, but he'll head to the free throw line here for Sanford.
Mike, there was a number that Chris Locke talked about last night, and I've heard 139 lives saved.
Yes.
Forget that there have been 77,000 people into Sean's house.
Right.
That in itself is amazing. But the fact that 139 lives are saved, that people could be here today that might not have been around to see the next dawn.
We talked about that, and
amazing.
Yes,
amazing.
I mean, and we know the kind of person that Sean was, right? But the impact that he had, we've said multiple times, the impact he had when he was here on this earth, but unfortunately now not here. Think about the impact that he has had and the lives that he's helped really save. I know he's up there looking down at us and saying, wow, this is amazing, because even 2, even 4, even 10, and we're talking 139 people who have come in at the verge of ending it. And Sean's House, the peer support specialists, the people trained there to help, and the counselors have helped save those people.
Mike, here's what's so poignant to me. Chris Locke took an incredibly difficult, adverse situation and turned it into an amazing vehicle of goodness. For a man, a parent, to be able to do that under those circumstances, it speaks volumes of the man, but also of the organization that he's founded. Agreed,
and it started really months after he lost his son, Sean Locke, in July of 2018. Our first tournament here was in February of 2019. Three-pointer up and in for Jones for Sanford, and they lead it now 19-16.
Well, we talked about young players being big factors in their team's success. Jones only a sophomore, a very smooth lefty.
Block inside by Sanford, and it was Jaden Taylor, but Sally still has it here.
As quick as Sally's is on the perimeter, Sanford with their guards are even more impactful with their speed, their athleticism, and their quickness.
Going down the lane, the runner is up and good for Dominic Downs.
And Downs known as a spot-up three-point shooter. That time doing a great job of moving off the ball, getting himself creatively down the lane and finishing that runner.
Coming up on 3.5 to go here in this contest in this first half. With a 19-18 Sanford advantage and a steal. Kajubi, no, and it's taken in by Elgood.
Taylor affected that shot, maybe got a partial block.
Kareem Hart here. Outside three ball, that was a good look there by Jones, couldn't knock it down. Coleman the other way, nice crossover, he works down the lane, lost the handle, kicked around, out of bounds. Referees confer. Sanford ball.
At times in the high school game, no matter how skilled the player is, they just get playing a little too fast.
Yeah.
one of the best plays in basketball is to penetrate into the lane with one dribble, pull it up. You have so many different options. Everybody wants to play at the rim now. They want to dunk it or make some spectacular shot, even though if you look at it analytically, there are probably more layups missed in high school than there are made.
Sure.
Unless the player is totally unobstructed.
And that's something that you've got to go out and practice, right, Bill? I mean,
yes, you do, and you've got to be coached up to do it.
Yeah, well taken, but there's probably got to be time in practice where you just do that multiple times in a row to get the feel for it, to say, okay, I'm not going 100 miles an hour out of control here. How do I stop and pull up or kick it out for a wide open shot?
Well, so much of it, Mike, is the recognition of understanding when you have a straight line drive where you can get to the basket immediately without being impeded by anyone other than the man guarding you. If that isn't the case, there are probably other options that might be more available and better choices.
Coleman's got it here for Sally's. Timeout taken. Taylor Trevison with the timeout, head coach for Sally's, with 2:26 to go. 1 point deficit with possession here.
Taylor's done a great job throughout his career. A teacher at the school. He spends countless hours with his team. I just love the way he goes about his business. He's very passionate. He's got a veteran staff that's been with him a long time, and that's why the Sally's program historically has been so good. Consistency of the message.
Graduate of St. Joe's, 2013, 7th season here with Sally's. And then you go to the other side, you mentioned earlier, Khalid Hart, who played there and was also a former player at Marist as well.
Well, I called his games in high school and in college. Khalid Hart was such an impactful player. He was a great ball handler. He was a tenacious defender. And I always thought he knew how to seize the moment and made big plays when it mattered, no matter whether it was high school or college. And let me tell you something, when the ball was hit in his hands at the end of the game, you were, number one, not going to take it away from him, and number two, if you fouled him, he was going to make them both.
Clutch toward the end, and here tonight, is this going to come down to the end of this one here? So far, it's a close game, a 1 point game between these two. What do they have coming out of the timeout? Logan. Turnover.
Again, making that spin move, not identifying where his teammate was. I don't know if that was a set play or not. That was a screen and a rescreen, and then a little bit of an old-fashioned give and go, and unfortunately, another costly turnover for Salesianum.
Elgood brings it over for Taylor. Up top for Hart.
In Sanford's style, they really count on their guards being able to create splitting kicks. Not a lot of screening actions in Sanford's offense.
Kajubi brings it over. Here's Coleman. On the drive, runner doesn't go. Rebound, Taylor.
When you play off of 1 foot against Taylor, you're going to have a problem, especially if you cannot dunk it.
Yeah, such a good rim defender there as they put up another three. Jones misses.
Some quick shooting by Sanford, not allowing any rebounder to be underneath. If you're going to take that shot in transition, you better have at least one teammate positioned somewhere to have a chance for an offensive rebound.
Coleman, nice crossover, goes down the lane. The runner is too strong. He fights for it, trying to get it back, tapped it. It goes out, and it's going to be Sanford possession. He hit it last.
Well, nothing better from a coaching standpoint to see two players trying to be first to the floor.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't work out, but that's the kind of passion and hustle that I know both coaches teach and love to see.
Just 1 minute to go here in this first half. 9th and final game of the 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic. Chase Fieldhouse, Wilmington, Delaware, along with Bill Harmon. I'm Mike Corey. 50 seconds to go. Sanford possession, leading by 1. Hart. Foul.
And Sally's has some fouls to give here, so probably not a bad one. Hart was probably going to get down the lane, take that foul on the floor, make them take it out underneath. If you've done your job scouting, you might be able to get a turnover out of this out of bounds play.
Yeah, they have one more foul to give, and then it'll be free throws. Third team foul for Sally's here in the second quarter. 40 seconds to go.
Sally's in a little bit of a 2-3 zone here. They mix this look up from time to time, out of bounds under.
Now to your point, you're wondering to see if Sanford holds to the final shot of this first half.
I think at this point they certainly should. Now they may not, but that would be the right strategy in my humble opinion.
20 seconds to go. Hard up top. McNeil. Foul line here for Jones. Into the corner and some traffic. Back over the Hart. Jump stop mid lane. The runner is up. It's no good.
Shot it too quickly, gives Sally's an opportunity to score at the other end.
They do, and inside, whistle and a foul. Keegan McGee is going to go to the free throw line, and to your point, Bill, exactly right, with 2.5 seconds to go, and now Sally's has a chance to take the lead at the free throw line.
When you're playing for the last shot of a quarter or a half of the game, you want to shoot it with about 4 seconds to go to allow yourself an opportunity for an offensive rebound if it's missed, but not allow the other team to get any sort of run out. It's just standard operating procedure. Some players just kind of get overwhelmed by the moment and want to make a play. But time scores, situational basketball, incredibly important.
Yeah, and especially if you're going to hold it down all the way to the end like that. He went with 10 instead of about 4 or 5, like you said. And that's exactly the point. With 2.5 seconds to go, Sally's went down the court here. A chance to tie it now at the line as McGee misses the first. That one is no good as well on their offensive rebound. Now, and finally at the buzzer, they miss it again. And it was Kajubi that had a chance there. So Sanford, I guess, weathers that sequence, and we'll have a slim 1-point lead at the half.
A very competitive first half. Obviously some mistakes. It may be the moment of the game, the nature of it, the event. But I think at both teams now, they've gotten all their players in, except we haven't seen R.J. Johnson, the Sally superstar. If he gets in, I think he can change the dynamic of the game. But a very competitive game, both teams playing very hard. Jaden Taylor really showing off his skill set here this evening.
Sanford led by 1 point after the first quarter. They lead by 1 at the half. We will take a break and be back with more. The 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic right after this.
It's brutal. So slow.
Good thing we brought Jersey Mike's. Is that Danny DeVito?
Don't worry about me. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's. And at Jersey Mike's, the subs matter most. Freshly sliced right in front of you. That's what matters here. Almost forgot. I found your ball.
It's a rock.
Where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Partnerships built on relationships. That's our motto at CBM Insurance, and those words guide everything we do. We provide the best possible service experience because our focus is on the relationship first. When you join CBM, you join a team with an average of 20 years in the insurance industry, long-standing relationships with our carrier partners, and deep roots in our community. We stand ready to be your trusted partner and insurance advisor.
So this is a non-adult area where they feel like this is a safe place for them to maybe just decompress, maybe get peer support, maybe just do their schoolwork in a different environment.
A couple months ago, this space was a outdated teacher center with a lot of unused material, and there was some vision and some excitement around creating this space for students to support our students' needs.
I worked with Justin and Chris when the idea came about, and they had the idea to add a Sean's room in this school, and we had done 2 of the schools already, and 2 of those schools were private schools. And I'm a firm believer that it's not just needed in private schools, but it's needed in all the schools.
I feel like this room would just help everybody who's suffering through these mental challenges to just feel more comfortable and get some coping skills and just feel more relaxed.
When they come here, they're gonna see peers, they're gonna see other students engaging, they're gonna see activities, they're gonna see meetings, and it's gonna be a first-person look on what this room really is and open the full meaning of Sean's room and Sean's house to them.
There are things that are in here that are nicer than I put in my own house. Things that are in here that are nicer than my own office. Significantly larger than the Sean's room that's at St. Mark's and or Sally's and even the teen warehouse. And we kind of laid this out so that there were 4 or 5 different areas. We started out with a family gathering room, which is what you see behind me. There's a game room. The game room has an air hockey table and a foosball table. We have an exercise room, exercise kind of relax, yoga type area. And the thing that is most important to me is the study room that we have.
There's games for people, there's a whole yoga studio, which I am so excited to utilize. And there's a space to study. It's just something for everyone. So those are the ways we kind of get students in the room. But once you're in the room, you're welcomed into this non-judgmental space where I'm not here to judge you and I'm here to listen to you. Like, we can play a game of Uno and you complain about your classes or you tell me what's going on at home, and like, we connect over that.
It took a lot in me to actually admit that I did not have it all together, and I really actually truly struggled because I had a lot of expectations put on me. So I believe that this room will really, really help. So to have this room, I feel like it's amazing. Like, honestly, it's amazing. Like, I really think a lot of people will benefit from it, and I'm very, very excited.
From your favorite athletes to your favorite music, listen to everything you love and so much more with the free iHeartRadio app. From live play-by-play to your favorite game day anthems and the biggest sports podcasts in the world, the iHeartRadio app lets you take it all with you and stay connected to your favorite team wherever you go. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Who will he grow up to be? Well, that depends on all of us. That's why, along with our groundbreaking medical care, Nemours Children's Health supports programs that address issues like food insecurity and the resources essential to learning. It's all part of creating a healthier future for all children. So, he can grow up to be whoever he wants to be. Nemours Children's Health, well beyond medicine.
In many ways, Sean's Room is about creating a space in which students are able to discover both community, but also that safety of knowing I'm not okay, I'm not who I believe I'm supposed to be, and seek that healing, that strength, that compassion in and through others to get where they believe God's calling them to be.
I would really say it's about the brotherhood here. We have a sense of belonging here. I just find Sean's Room to really be homey for me.
I've seen a lot of guys come in here during their study halls as another space outside of library to go. It's a little more casual and less study heavy, but something that I've noticed is guys who kind of just come in here and they're here and these little activities that we have, they're slowly starting to open up and almost realize in their own way without too much pressure kind of what's going on in their own lives, and they start to ask themselves their own questions.
We can't address the whole person if we don't have spaces dedicated to the pieces of ourselves that don't feel like they're working the way we want them to. And I think that's why Sean's room, but really any dedicated space for mental health is so important in schools today.
Very frequently I will see people come in here kind of like very obviously stressed about a class or coursework, and they'll come in here expecting to be doing it the entire time. And of course they can do their work if they want to, but they'll often get sucked into like a puzzle we're doing or just one of the games that the guys will have out and playing. They like to play Catan a lot.
It's really just a mental health safe haven is the best way to describe it. It's a hangout spot where teens can be themselves and have open conversations about their mental health and what they're going through. But it also is a place where you can hang out, you can be around other people.
People can come in for different reasons. They want to grab a snack, they want to take a break, they want to talk to a friend, they want to study down here because there's, their friends are goofing off in the library. It allows people to come together, and then that's when the conversations start to happen. Eventually, over time, the relationships that are formed here and the time spent gets to the deeper conversations that I think this room is important for.
Like, everybody wants to not be full of stress. And to come down here, it's definitely great. And I know that my Sally's guys definitely love being in here.
Creating a room like this goes like, we see it and we want to be part of the solution, not kind of simply wring our hands and be like, what's going on? We want to be part of a solution. We've managed to create a space that is pushing back on a societal framework that keeps guys pretty boxed in. And I think we've broken a lot of those boxes open.
I think the students being the peer support is a really special but unique model that really works here for a specific reason. I think we came in here and we just gave a space for what was already here, and that's the brotherhood that they have.
Sean's room is the greatest addition here in a while. Like, I don't think I can name a better room because of the fact that you can just come in anytime and unwind and relax.
It's brutal, so slow.
Good thing we brought Jersey Mike's. Is that Danny DeVito?
Don't worry about me. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's. And at Jersey Mike's, the subs matter most. Freshly sliced right in front of you. That's what matters here. Almost forgot. I found your ball.
It's a rock.
Where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
I have a son who passed away July 2017, and for a long time I knew he had mental health issues. But for a mom, I always say 7 years later I was uneducated. We think depression, it's just about putting your big boy pants on and getting past it. Those things lead to death. With addiction, it is not a time of if you're going to die, it's when you're going to die. If you continue using, you are going to die. If you are not healing the trauma that happened, at some point when you're not talking to a therapist, when you're not coming to a place like Sean's house where you're learning coping mechanisms and all the other things they do here, you're going to need to numb all those things that are going on in your head. And you're going to start out small because you think it's not going to happen to me. Everybody who thinks it's not going to happen to them, guess again, it is going to happen. If you had cancer, you would be happy to talk about it. You would put it out there. I have heart disease, I have leukemia. But the minute someone says, I have an addiction or my kid has an addiction, suddenly people are thinking, where did you go wrong? What's wrong with your child? Why didn't you help them? We need to come to places like this where there are resources that are beyond just the average parent. Reach out and get help.
From your favorite athletes to your favorite music, listen to everything you love and so much more with the free iHeartRadio app. From live play-by-play to your favorite game day anthems and the biggest sports podcasts in the world, the iHeartRadio app lets you take it all with you and stay connected to your favorite team wherever you go. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Who will he grow up to be? Well, that depends on all of us. That's why, along with our groundbreaking medical care, Nemours Children's Health supports programs that address issues like food insecurity and the resources essential to learning. It's all part of creating a healthier future for all children. So, he can grow up to be whoever he wants to be. Nemours Children's Health, well beyond medicine.
Teachers ignite my curiosity.
I chose St. Mark's
because I get to dive into the newest tech that will help me rock the jobs of tomorrow. Because we have over 100 state championships, and this team is working on the next one.
I chose St. Mark's because of the teamwork.
Because here, I'm inspired to lead.
The 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic is presented by Jersey Mike's, Platinum Dining Group, St. Mark's High School, and the Cicero family. Seventh annual SL24 Basketball Classic continues as we get set for the start of the second half in our nightcap. Sally's and Sanford. It is a one-point game here. Second half coming your way in just a little bit. Mike Corey, Bill Harmon. All right, Bill, so one team, 10 wins, one team over 10 losses. It's a one-point game here. Let's get to some highlights of the first half and what we saw.
Well, I'm not the least bit surprised. These are two very competitive programs. They played each other a lot. They know one another well. Young and old players making an impact on the game. Long-range shooting, but what I've been impressed with is the competitiveness on the floor. First to the floor, trying to draw charges, tough defense. That's why this game's being played actually below 20 in the first half.
The reason why we're here to help raise money for the SL24 Foundation for Mental Health. It's been an unbelievable weekend, outstanding weekend, a lot of great support. And joining us now, Sean Locke's brother, Kevin Locke, with us here. Great to see you, man. How are you?
Always great to see you, partner.
Always a pleasure, both of you. So,
well,
good to be out here.
Thanks for joining us. I know this means so much for you and your family and all that you guys did to get this started. And now here in year 7. First off, tell me about, from your perspective, what this is like and how good this feels and where we are at this point.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, it's hard to believe that this is actually year 7. Feels like not even that long ago. I remember doing the first one, and everyone here and just watching it grow over the years has been amazing to see. Not only with sponsorships, but getting the players a chance to voice their opinions about mental health, and really just the Delaware community in itself coming together to support a cause. I know our family couldn't be happier.
We'll hear from your dad coming up later on. We'll hear from your sister, Kat, and I'd like to hear from your perspective. We haven't talked to you as much, over the years, really, and just like how you've been able to work through this, how you've dealt with it, how you've helped with your entire family, turn this horrible negative into a positive, and now, as you see, changing and saving lives.
It starts with having a solid support system, whether that be the community at large. I think you have it on a macro perspective, and then you have your close-knit circle. So, anytime you lose a sibling, a family member, a friend, there are going to be valleys and swings, ups and downs. It's almost like an ocean that's crashing, and kind of the further you go out, the wave's going to calm down. And I think that with time is what family and friends have experienced. Losing Sean and anyone else, the mental health I'm sure can relate with, but really just having an outlet, whether that is a person or a hobby or, exercising, something to de-stress and kind of work through those challenges.
It's really kind of a good way to put it. I never thought about that. If you just kind of stand there, the waves can keep crashing down on you. You guys have been able to push through and walk through that and get to that brighter side, the calmer waters, where it's really helped, and you've had that support for it with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't get easier, but it's still something that's in the forefront of your mind every day.
Well, Kevin, I know when I was coaching Sean at St. Mark's and you were at Salesianum, you had an immense impact on your brother. He always thought so highly of you. He talked about you all the time. I imagine some of those one-on-one battles in the driveway were pretty tough.
Oh yeah, they got pretty heated. Definitely physical, with me always getting the upper hand, being the older brother. But yeah, I mean, I always say it helped shape him into the player that he became, and he had a better playing career than I did playing at Delaware. And it was awesome to see him kind of blossom over the years.
Well, you guys had a terrific relationship. I remember it so well.
We did. I appreciate that. So.
Do you find yourself having the opportunities now with more people maybe coming to you or asking for your help, and also what you're giving back to them? What is that like now with this kind of responsibility almost that's been entrusted upon your entire family, really, based on everything you've done?
Yeah, it's a lot that weighs on your shoulders. And every time you hear news of someone passing to this disease, it never kind of lessens the burden. It's always kind of a shock when it happens, and you just want to provide those words of comfort as best you can to the family and the friends that are going through it. So yeah, I mean, I take it personal. It's something that changes their life forever, and something that they kind of have to manage and learn to deal with. It's
Kevin, one of the things I know you know, because you've been around the foundation for so long, is the amazing growth it's had year to year. But what's even more profound to me is how many high schools in the state of Delaware now are developing safety places, much like Sean's house.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was not around back in the day when I was at St. Mark's coaching Sean and when you were at Sally. So that in itself has been just a huge impetus for going forward with a very difficult situation.
Yeah, not even a thought back, even when I was in high school back in 2010. And the adoption of this whole issue, making awareness across schools in Delaware and across the nation, has been something that needed to happen.
$2.2 million raised in the 6 previous tournaments, and I think we're tracking for probably another year over and above what we've had in the previous year. We'll see coming up here at the end of the third when you're dad in the reveal of the numbers from what's happened this entire weekend. It's impressive the way this state and this community comes together. I always enjoy coming back because you see so many familiar friends and faces, and then you realize, like your dad just said earlier, about your teammates. It's more than just basketball. It's more than anything. It's the people. It's been great.
Yeah, it's truly impossible that this would happen without everyone contributing their part. I mean, the people at Sean's house, the board members of SL24, like, you can see it. They are truly dedicated to making this a bigger thing each year and just spreading as much positive information about this issue that they can. It's really great to see.
Sanford here leads it by 2, trying to add on. They can't do it. The rebound by Kajubi for Sally's. Coming up on 5 minutes to go in the third. Right back out for Logan. Kicks it to the corner. Downs on the drive. Back out to the top. It's a long 3. It's Johnson. There it is. Coach doesn't get it to go. And the rebound picked up by Sanford and Kareem Hart.
Well, R.J. Johnson has great range on his shot, and he loves to work out on the perimeter. But where he can be so impactful in this game is getting inside posting up occasionally, trying to get Taylor in some foul trouble if that's possible.
Great move here by Hart as he takes it in, and the contact from Kajubi. Count the basket. We've only had one basket in the first 3 minutes of this quarter here. It's the second straight quarter where that's happened. Got off to a slow start here for both teams in the last few quarters.
I always think that it is really difficult in these surroundings with the longer court, the extra lines, and the backdrop to really, without any practice and just limited shooting and only one half, it's just difficult to find your surroundings and your bearings, which I think affects a lot of the shooting. We've had a lot of turnovers in the first half. I think teams have settled down a little bit that way, but they need to continue to sharpen up in their play.
Solid drive by Latrell right that time for Sally's as he gets the runner to make it a three-point game here. Three-pointer by Hart, it's short, and Sally's has it. Final comment from Kevin Locke, Sean's brother, who's with us here courtside. What other message, thing that you'd like to bring out to the fans, the people watching, on everything that's happened, whether it's about this tournament, the foundation, the people, everything that's gone on so far to this point?
Yeah, I mean, we love everyone who contributes in any way. We are forever thankful. It's something that truly blesses our hearts, and we're something we couldn't do without the help of everyone. And we love to see it. And for anyone struggling, just try not to be quiet. Find something, some way to go out and make your voices heard.
Thanks for helping them to make it easier on those, to give them a place and an avenue to be able to go talk and talk about what's bothering them. So great to see you as always.
Always.
Appreciate it. All the
Kevin,
best.
always a treat, my good friend. Be well.
All the best to you and the family.
Go South.
All right. Kevin Locke with us here tonight. Sean's brother. 24-22. His team's battling here tonight, Bill.
I think you can say some of the shot selection's been a little questionable, settling for some stuff. Neither team has run a whole lot of sets, but I've been impressed here in the second half with the reinsertion of R.J. Johnson. He drove the last time. He affected another foul on Taylor, so he's starting to have an impact in this game.
After the free throw for number 12 in blue for Sally's, it's a one-point game once again here, 24-23. Nico McNeil pulls up. It doesn't go. There's a foul on the rebound. 3:46 to go in the third.
Trevor Webster, way above the rim, took a huge fall, and I'm just amazed sometimes at how these young players can get themselves off of the hardwood so quickly.
Yeah. They called it on Johnson. R.J. Johnson picks up his first here for Sally's.
Sally's back in the zone. That's somewhat, I think, helped them stay in this game, this 2-3 look.
Nice feed inside. Good block, though, by Sally's, and into the hands of this here Logan. And they got a chance to take the lead here.
Pretty remarkable. They've missed some shots, but the zone has slowed Sanford down. They have really more settled for the 4-round-1 opportunities. And Sally's certainly reinvigorated here with Johnson in the game.
Well, you called it. He goes right to the hole and puts it up and in, and Sally's leads it 25-24.
And not settling for any long-range shots, driving the ball. That's how he can really affect the game against Sanford.
Their first lead since very early in the first quarter here, 25-24, and it's probably the type of game that Sally's needed, right, to have a chance at winning this one here today.
Well, this game definitely needed to be played probably in the 40s or low 50s, no doubt about it. Not that Sally's can't get up and down the court, but when your star player doesn't play in the first half, you need to keep it close, and they did that. Give them a lot of credit for hanging in there. Taylor Trevisan making that decision, and I think Sally's has really responded well here in the second half.
This is what we talked about at the start of the broadcast when these two teams get together, right? Sally's got, what, 3 wins on the season, and Sanford's got 10? We're got a one-point game here.
Well, there's always going to be great competition between these two teams. They always play each other, even though Sally's tends to play a wider, broad brush, out-of-state schedule. Sanford is in the independent conference, so they're playing everybody in there twice, so that limits the amount of out-of-state games or other teams they might be able to play. So for this rivalry to continue year in and year out and to be played here under this, in this atmosphere, I think it's fabulous.
3 minutes and 10 seconds to go. third quarter. Continue to donate, fans, here to the Unlock the Light Foundation, unlockthelight.com/donate. You can also go to givebutter.com/SL24 Classic 7. You can text Classic 7 to 53555 or scan the QR code with your phone. We have this quarter, the fourth still to go, and then we're going to wrap things up for this year's 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic. The online auction is still going on, so check that out and get on that before that closes. The merchandise online as well. We've had a great turnout here this weekend in the Chase Fieldhouse in Wilmington, Delaware, and we'll have the total reveal coming up at the end of this third quarter as a three-pointer goes up and in by Dominic Downs, and Sally's leads at 28-24.
Downs is a terrific standstill shooter. That was a great pass from Latrell Wright to get it to his teammate down in the left deep corner. No closeout by Sanford.
Largest lead of the game here, and back the other way. Taylor couldn't get it to go. Sally's on the run with Latrell Wright. Got hit, lost the handle, and it's Sanford possession, and Wright can't believe how that wasn't a foul.
I think Taylor Trevison has a case to be made there. He's actually maintaining his composure. There's no doubt. Wright was going fast, but he was bumped, and that's what caused him to lose the ball.
But how about that nice kick to Downs in the corner for the three?
Terrific pass by Latrell Wright, making the extra pass, making your teammate get an opportunity to have a better shot.
So here's Hart with under 2 minutes to go in the third, with Sanford down by 4. Nice crossover, takes it to the hole, got the basket on the foul. How about Kareem Hart?
Well, Hart has a marvelous first step. He's a lefty, he's able to maneuver himself in there. Sally's gets at times overextended, no help in the lane. He's able to get there basically free to the basket.
To your point about the competition that Sally's played, is that one of those where, like, don't be fooled by the record type of thing? Or do you just feel
absolutely.
like
As I said at the start of the show, Mike, this might be the best 3-10 team in the history of the state of Delaware at this juncture of the season. Newman, Goretti, Father Joe, so many other teams outside. Now, they have struggled a little bit in state. Had a nice win against Smyrna the other night at home, 52-45. But this team, I think, is just starting to find their bearings.
A lot of basketball still to be played here now. The kick to the corner again. It's Downs again. He's in the same spot. Misses on the three this time. The rebound by Trevor Webster. Sanford in the hands of Elgood. And it's back to Hart.
Now Sally's is going back to their man-to-man defense. This will allow Sanford opportunities to get driving lanes.
Hart fouled up at the top by Logan. Yeah, it's a 16 foul here for Sally's. So free throws coming here for Sanford, and they got a chance to go back in front.
Typically, Mike, Sanford is one of the better team free throw shooters in the state. They do a great job in practice. Stan Waterman, they've been fantastic coach for all the 25 years he was there, now at Delaware State.
Right.
Khalid Hart took over for him. And these guys work very hard at that because they know if they have a lead into the fourth quarter, they're going to be able to put it away and actually expand it because of their free throw shooting.
And it's one of the things you can really control, right? That you can go out there and practice night in and night out. It's probably, you know, undervalued the fact that, you know, yeah, we practice it. No, they really do practice it, like you're saying, because I hate when you hear, well, oh, they hit them in practice, but it does translate to the game for them.
And you've got to do it under game situations as well. You've got to put your kids in stressful moments to make it where fatigue might be a factor or there might be something on the line, because clutch free throw shooting is way different than just, say, standing in the line and making 7 in a row.
It'll be Logan to put it in here for Sally's as they find themselves trailing by 1. A 5-0 run here for Sanford, and a block by Taylor.
When you're going to attack Jaden Taylor, you better do one of 3 things. You got to move him, you got to fake him, or at least you've got to attack his chest.
R.J. Johnson out of bounds on the sideline. It's going to be Sanford possession.
I think one of the reasons Sally's has been able to keep this game close is generally they've been able to withstand the Sanford pressure. when Sanford gets down or it gets close, they're going to apply full court pressure either in a zone attack or in man-to-man, and they're really clever at getting steals in that type of situation.
We're in another tight one here in this nightcap. Three-pointer in the corner, no good that time by McNeil, but there is a foul, and it's on Sally's. It's on R.J. Johnson, his third.
Mike, I don't know how much you saw it earlier in the afternoon here, but the multiple lines on the court, I think, sometimes confuses young players.
You said that.
And instead of shooting the ball from the normal three-point high school line, they get out at the NBA line, and they're just not used to shooting that. They may practice there, but under game circumstances, it's going to be different.
And correct me if, to your point on that, is that you may catch off a screen. It may be quick. You recognize the line below you. You think, hey, that's it. But it's not, right? You're like, well, how do you not know? But it's like,
and the court's 4 feet longer, so you've got to be ready to adapt to that as well.
40 seconds to go here in this third quarter. Sanford by 2.
And there's the quickness of Sanford's hands. They're always out, denying the ball, creating chaos in their defense. Azir Elagood, very quick, and boy, if he gets it in the open court, he's going to be able to finish. He's got wonderful quickness with the ball. Sally's very intelligently here, I think, going to hold for the last shot. Let's see if they execute this a little bit better than the first half. Let the clock run down to inside 10 before you attack, and then shoot the ball with about 4 seconds to go.
Okay, they hand it off to Wright. He's got Logan on the wing along with R.J. Johnson. Johnson has it. There it is, Logan. Back over to Wright. It's a three for the lead. In and out. Battle for it. It's loose. 1 second to go. Just as you called it, Bill, but they weren't able to convert, but they did not let Sanford get down on the other end of the court.
That was a really nice set play there by Coach Trevison. They do a little dribble handoff and then a quick flare screen with R.J. Johnson being the screener. Wright got a great look, just couldn't convert.
And here we go for the number reveal tonight of how much money has been raised this entire weekend.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
And here is the co-founder of the SL24 Foundation, Chris Locke.
That I'm proud to be your teammate, as I said earlier. And we're going to reveal the numbers that we raised for this tournament. We always try to raise one more dollar. Let's see what we did. Okay, first number, please. First number, please. First number, please. 4, 2, 3, upside down, comma. 4, 7, $674,324. A record-breaking tournament again. Thank you so much. Let's have a great fourth quarter. Thank you. God bless. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves a great big round of applause as we did it. This tournament raised $674,324. Special thanks to Chris.
$674,324. Another new record here for the foundation, Chris and Bill. You look at it from last year, $604,524. Almost $70,000 more here this year in 2025. And joining us now is Chris Locke here. What a great weekend. What an outstanding job by everyone involved. Chris, another record, almost $70,000 more than last year. Congratulations. How great does this feel for you guys?
It's unbelievable. It's really just an amazing thing that every year I think, no way. And they do it again. To be $70,000 more than last year is just, it's awe-inspiring. I mean, the community is just embracing us, and we're so humbled, just so humbled by it all. The love, you can see and feel the love in the room. It really is amazing.
Well, we talked about it numerous times, all the people that have come back here year after year, all the friendly and familiar faces, whether they've been a part of the foundation, whether they've gone on to do something else, they come back, right? And you see them again and you realize, I thought your point is just so well taken. This is a team. Like, we have so many great teammates here, and it's going to continue for many, many, many more years to come. I'd love for you to just tell everyone how much and how big this is and what it's going to do for the foundation throughout this entire year and years to come, this $674,000.
Well, this tournament is everything. We raise the funds so that we can pay for the years of services and programming we're doing. So we're opening up our 4th Sean's Room in 1 month at St. George's. We have another one slated in September, and that takes people. That takes resources. So this tournament is really important to raise those financial resources to keep all these programs alive, to be able to pay for people's mental health services that cannot afford. So it's critical. It's critical.
And that's the one thing you've always said, that no one's going to have to pay $1 if they are in need, and especially critical need, right? Of the 139 active crises that have come through that door that you guys have saved through the thanks and the support of the Pier 24 support specialists, the counselors, and that's great, because then nobody has to ever think, I don't know, I can't afford this, or I'm not going to go talk to someone, because monetarily you've taken that out of the equation, and that's huge.
Well, that's why we don't want to have any barriers for anybody to get the help, whether it's timing, that's why Sean's House is open 24/7, or financially, and that's why we have the scholarship. So we take the barriers, then they can get the help, they don't suffer in silence, and hopefully they have a wonderful life. So I do want to say, before we go any further, this is an intense game. A lot of people don't want to hear this old guy talking, so we'll do a short version, hopefully, and get back to the game. So,
Chris, what's so remarkable to me in the 7 years, every year there's been an increase in the raise, which is just fantastic. No fatigue, your energy and your inspiration to everybody, along with your group. But I don't think you give yourself enough credit. You're the founder of this, and you make this all happen. And
Bill,
just wonderful congratulations to you and your entire organization.
Thank you, Bill. But you are and you were a great coach, and we all know it takes a whole team to win a game. And I'm just one player on many, many people that are part of this team. I just got the privilege to be the face and the voice of the foundation. I would do anything to give that privilege to somebody else so I could have Sean back, but that's unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So we're here to do what we have to do to, in his legacy, help those who can help themselves.
I said this to you last night. I'm going to repeat it again. The energy that's required to do what you do, not just for this weekend, but day in and day out. You got to get up and live with a tragedy, but then you find a way every day to make this organization better. It's just a remarkable achievement on your part and your organization.
Well, you know, last night you said something about Sean playing on one leg. I think that's the right analogy for me, too. I'm playing on one leg, and he did it, so I can do it.
Well, you're a pretty good one-legged player.
Thank you.
Hey, I'll just say this, Chris. You know, as you talk about the teammates, you're the head coach, and you have a great staff around you too. Like, to your point, if you don't hire a great staff, if you don't have great people around you, you can't have the success that you've had, and you've done that. So that's smart on you to do that. I love the team that we've assembled here. There's no way that you get to that point without a great team. We talked to a lot of them here on the broadcast too. It's impressive.
Well, you know, when I was thinking about what I was going to speak about tonight, it's truly a team. I mean, from the executive team at SL24 to the volunteers, to the sponsors, and to everybody who's here, everybody who wears the merchandise that says, I want to be part of the solution. So I'm just honored to be that head coach, as you say. So
we'll close it out here in a second. Coleman hits the bucket. We're tied at 32.
Wow,
We've got under 6 minutes to go. This is a big game here in the final game.
I'm a basketball guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be talking. I want to sit down and watch this game.
And enjoy this. Hey, what an awesome way to start this year. So got the volleyball tournament coming up. You have a 5K. You got a golf tournament. You got Sean's house. You got Sean's rooms. This is how we get it started. Big 2025 here. Great job all weekend long.
And Delaware, those who are listening, thank you. Thank you so much. I so appreciate the support, and we will make sure that we provide all the resources. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Chris.
You're the best. Take care. Best wishes to you for a great 2025, my dear friend.
Thank you.
Let's keep it going.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Chris Locke with us, co-founder of the SL24 Foundation, and what a weekend it's been. 674,324 and counting, Bill, as we continue
Not
on.
over yet.
Right, not over yet. And this one is nip and tuck.
And this one's not over yet.
Tied at 32.
Well, what a
5.5 to go.
competitive game here, Mike. I'll tell you what, both teams have really rallied around their coaches to play at a very high level. It may not be a high-scoring game, but there's a lot of passion and emotion out on the floor.
Sanford in white, Sally's in blue. Sanford has it here with Elgood. The crossover, finds Hart, and that's an offensive. Hart trying to plead his case, gets the message out, but he's called for the offensive foul, and it's back over to Sally's with 5:07 left.
Well, really good footwork there by the defender, Kevin Coleman, who anticipated the move by Hart and then got in front. He was in a guarding position, and that's why he achieved the offensive foul call. Sanford, with all this talent, playing some zone out there to try to slow down the Salesianum attack.
Johnson battling forward for Sally's. It's picked up by Sanford. Now loose again. Do we have a foul? Look out. And they got to separate the players here. They did it rather quickly. Farrell McNeil for Sanford and R.J. Johnson for Sally's. Getting into it there for a second. And that's the intensity of this matchup here.
You're right, but players, no matter what the situation, much less this momentous type of game and environment, you just got to keep your emotions under check. Let's see what the officials do here to adjudicate. I thought both coaching staffs did a good job to control their players. We'll see what happens. I think this game comes down to basically how much will R.J. Johnson can impose versus Jaden Taylor.
All right, so we'll get the official word here to find out what they do end up calling. There is a timeout. 4 minutes and 40 seconds left here. And we're tied at 32. Sally's in Sanford. What would you think there, Bill? You calling a technical foul? You're just trying to keep this in line here, especially late, but does that...
It really depends on who was the provocateur. And I think they're going to get Farrell McNeil for that, I believe. And he and Robbie Johnson got involved in that fray, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. 4 for Sanford, Farrell McNeil, 12 R.J. Johnson for Sally's.
Did they call a double technical? No, I did not think so, because I've never been a fan of a double technical.
Right.
I just don't believe in that philosophically. Who was the provocateur?
Like somebody somebody
it's
started
always
it,
somebody
right.
that starts it. Now, it depends, I guess, to some limit of what the response is.
Yes, that's a good point.
Much like the NFL, but in this case, you see it called way too often. I think that's the officials bailing out instead of taking charge and saying this was the person that was the aggressor.
To your point, though, of what was the retaliation, which I don't think there was much here. It's more the instigator, which I think was McNeil, unfortunately, for Sanford. And what's really tough sometimes is when you don't get the person who started it, and then you get the follow-up, and that doesn't help anything either. So.
Well, this is the second technical shooting. This quarter started out with technical foul shots while you and I were still discussing things with Kevin Locke, so I never got the call for what that was. Maybe a player that wasn't in the book properly.
Okay.
I don't think anything happened on the sideline, but I didn't see it because we were so engaged here in our conversation.
So Latrell Wright is at the free throw line for Sally's to shoot the technical free throws that was called on Farrell McNeil for Sanford. He misses the first, as you just saw. One more here would put Sally's up by 1, and they do that. And they'll have possession as Taylor Trevison is getting an explanation as well on the sideline.
Latrell Wright is a really savvy competitor. He played 3 seasons over at Conrad, transferred over here. He's been a veteran of many a tough game. Expect him to make some plays in the clutch.
Wow, look at the runner by Wright. There it is.
Well, Wright's very clever, is able to hang in the air long enough to find a very creative way to get some English spin on that.
Good call here, Bill. Coming up on 4 minutes remaining, and the runner the other way for Sanford for Elgood, and he is fouled.
You see that so much at all levels, where a driver and a floater shot, which has a much lower percentage of going in, especially in a situation with no shot clock, that the defender bails out the shooter. Let's see if that shot can go in. Much lower percentage than players tend to analyze their own shots.
One more here for Elgood. We have a 1-point game once again.
A lot of lefties out on the court. R.J. Johnson, McNeil, Jones, and Hart.
This move again by Wright, up and under, doesn't go. Now we get a whistle and a jump ball as he gets in there as the initial rebound from Trevor Webster. They got tied up, and Sally's is going to get the possession on the possession arrow here.
Who knows better where the miss is going to than the shooter? Wright kind of lost that one with a little too much spin on it. Goes to the far side. He did a great job of kind of tracking the ball and creating the jump.
Yep, staying right with it there. Here's Logan. Number 2 for Sally's with the possession. Bounces it to Johnson. R.J. Johnson, the fake. To the hole he goes. Not there. Player hits the deck. No call. Rebound Sanford. And defending that time was Webster. He won the charge.
He certainly did. He's not going to back down from the big football player. Defensive end for Salesianum.
And on the take to the hole. And almost a basket and a foul by Hart. But he has a chance to put Sanford back in front of the free throw line.
I'd love to see the replay on that. He may have moved in a little late, but as he was driving down the lane, I thought he stepped to the side. Unless there was movement there, that might have been a chance for a no call. Let's see it here. Oh, I think that could have been easily a charge. He was in a perfect guarding position. And it doesn't matter, Mike, if you're in a guarding position, whether the man hits you in the middle of the body or on a shoulder.
Right.
It still should be either a no call or a charge. I've had many a discussion with officials over that over the years, but I called my dear friend Clarence Armstrong, who coaches at the high level in college basketball. And we spent a half hour the other day talking about the block charge situation.
I've had Clarence a few times this year during my games.
Is anybody better?
Yeah, he's awesome.
He was
a tough call.
Fantastic official here in Delaware before he moved up, and a great player at Drexel.
Timeout, and we're tied at 35 with 3 minutes and 16 seconds to go. And over the years, Bill, that has changed where the call used to go to the defender a lot on taking charges. Now you've really got to be set for like a full second and a half almost. It's like it's going towards the other side because you can't just slide in right at the last second. Now, that wasn't the case on that last play you saw, but it's also to protect both players, too, so I can understand what's going on.
It is from some safety, but as the game has progressed, the powers to be want more offense.
Right.
And they don't like the charge. They want more fluidity of movement, having players be able to just slice down. My point has always been, if I'm a lesser athlete, what can I do to stop somebody like that? I can get in there like a man and take a charge right in the chest and make sure there's some contact. So that's part of it. Officials sometimes probably have in the back of their mind, I'm going to favor the block call because we want scoring and maybe the supervisors are watching as such. But more importantly, I think it's a great basketball play. If you're that tough to step in there, how about trying to draw a charge on Robbie Johnson? If you do that and do it the right way, why shouldn't you earn that?
Yeah, really good
point. So I think that's been something that's going on in the game. But you make a good point as well, Mike. Once the player has started his upward motion to the basket, you can't slide under, and I agree with that.
Right.
That's wrong because that's a dangerous play. So whether you take it in the chest or on the shoulder, if you're well positioned, that's a charge. Otherwise, stay away and let the player have access to the basket or get there sooner.
Sally's possession with Wright. We are tied at 35, coming up with 3 minutes remaining in the game. Coleman back to Wright. Johnson calling for it. He's been pushed out of the post. Now he tries to go back into it. He's got it out on the corner. Guarded by Taylor. Great matchup there. And Johnson, no. Traveling violation. He doesn't recognize it. Thought he got the basket under the foul. And now recognizing that it's going the other way.
To me, in the day and age where you allow the Euro, that might have been a slight slide by Robbie Johnson, but there wasn't that much of an advantage gained. And to me, that's what the question the officials should always ask. Advantage gained or not, I didn't think there was a lot there. A tough call. Taylor Trevisan was a little upset, but kept himself under composure.
We stay tied here. Sanford has it. Taylor gets it over to Hart. Battling his way in. Trouble there. Goes back up to the top. Webster. What we got here? Offensive foul on Trevor Webster.
How about Kevin Coleman stepping in there and taking that right in the middle of the chest? So great play going back and forth. What you need to do now is run a really good set by Sally's, whether they want to go through R.J. Johnson or not. I like that. He's going to attract attention and then see what happens, opportunities for his other players. A little UCLA cut here.
Wow, they're going to call Johnson with a foul away from the ball, trying to establish his position. And that is going to be his fourth, Bill. Didn't play it all in the first half. Now in the second half, he's picked up his fourth, one more, and he's out.
Well, what happens now, and the game has really evolved in this, on these dribble handoffs and these ghost screens, if you're still moving as a screener and you're not set, they're going to call that a offensive foul.
Three-pointer is up, no good. There was a foul away from the ball. Elgin misses on the three. This is a foul on Sally's. It's on Downs.
They got him on the block out on Taylor, going for the offensive rebound.
Okay, so Taylor is at the line here with two shots.
And this is where, in these moments, your best players have to rise up and make plays. Whether you get yourself in position to get an offensive rebound, whether you don't make that moving screen call that creates a turnover. Taylor, very tough. You talk about the Sanford guards.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor, a real sharpshooter from the line. He's got a beautiful stroke that he can repeat under pressure.
A tough player on both ends of the court, too, defensively as well. What do we have here? Timeout taken. Coach Trevisan called timeout all the way down the other end. Didn't like what he saw. Didn't want to lose possession there in the backcourt. 2-point lead for Sanford. Foul trouble here, by the way, too, for Sally's. R.J. Johnson's got 4. Dominic Downs has got 4. Let's talk strategy here, Bill. Minute 58 to go. It's Sally's ball in their backcourt, down 2. A lot of time left here, though. What are you thinking?
Well, I know the way Sanford loves to play. They're going to continue to press here. They're going to try to create either a turnover or an opportunity to get a steal out of the double team. Now, one thing Sally's has to do is get themselves organized here. That time they exited the ball to the short side of the court, which made the run much shorter, and that's why they got double teamed in the worst place on the court, the far deep end zone. And as the clock was running down, Taylor did a nice job of utilizing one of his timeouts. He still has 2 remaining, as does Sanford.
Possession arrow favors Sanford if we get a jump. We talked about the timeout situation. Minute 58 to go here in the fourth.
And both teams in the bonus.
Right. So free throws for every foul here the rest of the way. Brissett being trapped over on the sideline now. Look out, Wright has it. Will get it over. Latrell Wright. Kicks it. Johnson thought about the 3, then powers his way in. That's a blocking foul. And R.J. Johnson going to go to the line here for 2 shots to try to tie the game.
Mike, I love the decision there by R.J. Johnson. He took a look at the 3 and then realized there was no one in front of him. He drives down the right baseline and gets himself in for an opportunity to get to the free throw line. A really smart decision by R.J.
Well, and he had to do it in a way, too, where he wasn't going to plow over the defender and get called for an offensive and knocked out of this game. And with that size, it makes it tough. He's upset as he misses the front half. Has 1 more free throw to go here.
In these situations, foul shot block out, so important for the defensive rebounding team.
Lane violation on the free throw on Sally's, negating the made free throw.
You so rarely see that called, but I'm happy. I'm not happy for Sally's, but it's good that the officials make those kind of calls. I think in these pressure situations, they tend to stay away from a call like that. It would affect the game. It's a rule, then call it.
On the run here, Webster got it knocked out of his hands. Sally's with the break. Johnson getting the feed, puts it up and in on the pass from Latrell Wright.
A great steal. Latrell Wright doing a great job with his vision and a beautiful pass. And R.J. Johnson in the open court got himself under control.
In this fourth quarter, we had 3 lead changes and now 4 ties. Sanford possession, 37 all, just over a minute to go. Up top here for Hart, goes inside. The ball's knocked away again. Taylor's got it, and it's back out to the top to Elgood. Bill, you think it home for the final shot here?
You certainly might. I just don't know how Khalid Hart views his team. Does he want to do that? Does he want to take a chance for a turnover here at some point?
Dangerous entry pass into Hart. Now swings it back up to the top. It's Webster.
I think now they will hold. He's going to take a timeout.
Yeah. I would say nothing wrong with his strategy, right? I mean, we've talked about it numerous times. There's no shot clock. You're not worried about a 2-for-1 or anything like that. You're the defensive team. You don't want to foul because then they're shooting free throws. And you could run it down to your point, like you said, and take a shot. 5 or 6 seconds, give your chance for an offensive rebound. Is that what you're thinking?
From Sanford's standpoint, they have a timeout left, so if they're having trouble getting in, they can call another one. They might actually hold the ball till around the 15-second mark, take a timeout, and then inbound it again, running their last second play. Sally's, on the other hand, I think just wants to guard them. Get your right matchups, have a plan for when Taylor gets the ball if they try to post him up. Now, Sanford does not do that a lot. They like to work Taylor in the mid-range. Let's see what strategy Khalid Hart comes up with.
Bill, how about this stat? Sanford has made no baskets here in the fourth quarter. All free throws, 7 for 8.
Speaks highly of Salesianum's defensive intensity. I think win or lose, Taylor Trevison's got to be very proud of his team. He has to hold out his best player for a half. They've competed well. It's been an exciting game. I think his team really grew up here tonight in a big moment, and this will pay dividends as the season progresses on into February.
It'll be Hart to put it in for Sanford. Goes it into the backcourt for Elgood. 40 seconds to go.
Now Sanford's going to run a little bit of a 1-4 set here. They'll get the ball to Taylor, probably if they're going to run it down with about 10 seconds to go.
Elgood bounces it into Hart. Double team, up to the top. Taylor, free throw line shot, no. Fight for the rebound, offensive board pulled in for the moment by Webster. It's on the deck, and it's going to be a traveling violation on Sally's Downs as he rolled over with the ball.
And you've got to know that as a player. If you're going to go to the floor, you cannot roll over nor stand up unless you were dribbling the ball as you went to the floor yourself. A tough play, a hustle play, first to the floor. It just didn't work out because of the contact, and you slide over and your feet come up.
Just enough of a slide with the ball, as you said, and the official makes the call. Traveling violation. Sanford has it. 37 all with 18.8 seconds to go.
The Sally staff, the veteran Danny Stroud, doing a really good job of keeping his head coach under control. This is an emotional game. Taylor's working so hard to get his team this victory. He didn't like that call because he thought that the slide really wasn't a factor. He thought that he had didn't possess the ball until he stopped sliding, and he might have had an argument there.
The way that Sanford has been able to get their points, we talked about, it's been at the free throw line. They've been able to get some offensive rebounds. They battle inside. It's gritty. It's tough. What kind of a play are we thinking here that you're potentially drawing up if you're Sanford coming out of this timeout?
Well, they've looked like they've wanted to post up their guards down low. In one case, Hart.
Right.
In another case, McNeil. Now, I think they work into Taylor through the middle of the court. They do an isolation play, 4-around-1 with Taylor there. Now, he had a good look the last time and shot it. That's what resulted in the turnover on the missed rebound by Salesianum. If you're going to do it, we're going to let the clock run down. Both teams have a timeout left, so it'll be interesting here to see if he wants to trust his superstar or see if he can get a matchup with one of his point guards down low.
Well, when they tried to go down low to the point guard, they were getting double teamed. So Hart was getting double teamed, and that's how he got it out to Taylor. So if you're going to recognize where that double comes from, someone's going to be open here. And we'll see what Sanford does coming out of this timeout. As you said, each team with one timeout remaining, tied at 37, both teams in the bonus. Possession arrow favors Sanford. They get it in. It's Webster. Has it, goes on top for Elgood. Now to Hart. 10 seconds to go. Hart looks at the clock. Downs is on him. Passes it over here for Jones. And the ball is lost out of bounds. They lost it out of the sideline. It's Sally's possession.
Jones just threw that pass too hard. That was a bullet pass and just went through his hands. But sometimes you've got to have a little bit of a touch and a feel. I think emotions, young men, young players tend to tense up a little bit, and that's why the pass was thrown so hard.
Off the hands of Webster. And now Sally's will have it inbounding in the backcourt here with 5.4 seconds to go. What do you got here?
Well, you could, it depends on how Sanford wants to play it. If they come up and pressure you, you might want to back screen and try to run somebody out. Then you run the risk, because you don't have any timeouts, of not getting the ball in. I think at this point, unless you've really got a play that you've worked on a lot, just make sure you get the ball in. Maybe you can affect the play by driving and creating a foul, forcing the officials into a call. When you have 5.4, I'm going to tell you have 4 dribbles. You get a dribble a second, that allows you still time to go up into your shot. You're probably not going to have a chance for a rebound.
I like your initial thought, if you can get it in deep and try to draw a little bit of contact to get a high percentage shot at the rim. Many times in this situation, you see you got the ball up top, and then you end up having to hoist a long 3 as the clock is winding down. Not the idea here, obviously, if you're Sally's, hopefully get a high percentage shot.
And the problem is the ball's going to be inbounded on the baseline, and so they're going to have even further to go. The thing to remember from Sally's standpoint, you have to get the ball in here. You're out of timeouts. Sanford should pick up and be aggressive. I would imagine they might have a safety back. They're actually going to go into a, looks like a zone, I believe.
All right, so here we go. Downs for Sally's to put it in.
Going to play a 1-2-1-1.
Gets it in. Johnson. Now it's a running shot for the win at the buzzer. Right, no, and we are going to overtime. They got a good look, Bill.
They got a great look. And I think Latrell Wright could have actually pulled up and shot it off of a jump stop. But pretty good execution there. Sanford decided, instead of playing their typical man pressure, they went to a zone press, but it was very soft. Latrell got the number of dribbles we thought. He got himself actually inside the free throw line. I would say, all things considered, that was an excellent look from one of your best players.
Absolutely. 4 minutes on the clock here for overtime. Each team will get 1 additional timeout added. And we have 4 extra minutes to play to find out who's going to win this one on the rivalry between Sally's and Sanford in our final game here of the 2025 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic.
Is it more time for more money to come in?
That's right.
The doors are staying
It's always
open.
a good thing. It's always a good thing.
Absolutely. Let's add to that 674 total.
Let's do it. While we have the opportunity here before overtime begins, let's thank everyone involved. There were so many people involved, but let's start with the SL24 Foundation. Chris Locke, Kat Locke Jones, his daughter, the 2 co-founders of this organization. Trevor Cooney, who really helped to get this thing started with his idea about running a basketball tournament here in Wilmington 7 years ago, and it's worked out amazingly. Zach Ryan, the executive director of the SL24 Foundation. Angela Poyesi, the director of Sean's House. And Missy Marazzo, who is running the social media and the coordinator for SL24, has done a really good job promoting this event and all that's happened around this weekend and more. So big thanks to the whole SL24 Foundation. We saw the reveal, $674,324 raised this weekend and counting here for this organization. Now has raised almost $2.9 million in just over 6 years.
It is amazing. I love the fact that it's grown every year. There's been no fatigue. The energy of Chris Locke and the board is outstanding. But more importantly, Mike, I want to thank you and your brother, Jimmy Smith, and his staff. You guys have come down and done a great job producing these games. 9 games is a big ask. It's been terrific. And last night, my partner, Scott Glatzkin, 3 games together, and Mike, you and your group do a terrific job.
Really appreciate it. We've had an outstanding crew, and we'll recognize everyone here in just a little bit before this is all said and done. 3.5 minutes to go in overtime. R.J. Johnson gets bumped, puts up a tough fadeaway off the window. Somehow, some way, over Trevor Webster.
Webster did a really good job of confronting Johnson, cutting off his driving lane. Johnson with a big-time fadeaway using the backboard.
Remember Johnson, number 12 in blue, and also Dominic Downs, number 30, playing with 4 personal fouls, 1 more, and they're each gone from this game. Both teams in the bonus. A deep shot on the way, no good by Elgood. Rebound by Johnson, and Sally's has it.
Kevin Coleman did a great job there of affecting the shot by Elgood.
4 ties, 4 lead changes in the 4th quarter and overtime. Sally's by 2.
Sally's running a little bit of what's called a UCLA play.
Oh, we're going to have a foul here as it was knocked away initially by Sanford, and then a foul on Sally's. Kajubi, who picks up his 4th personal foul. So number 15 also with 4 here. And it's free throws.
The execution of the UCLA play was the issue. What they do is they pass the ball to the wing, they make a cut off of a high post player. He steps back to get the reversal, and that's where the difficulty happens. So you've got to just have better execution in your end game.
Free throws, of course, critical here at this juncture, and the first one no good by Hart. So Kajubi goes out. Logan is back in for Sally's. 1-point game, 39-38. 2:40 to go. Overtime. Here's White. Checked by Hart. Hands it off. Logan. Johnson. Thought about the 3. Oh, he tried to kick it cross court and got intercepted. A bad pass. Hart on the steal. Sanford possession, down 1.
It was the right idea of the skip. He just didn't get his arms fully elevated over his head. A nice play there by Sanford's defense.
Hart bounces it in for Taylor. Off balance. He lost the handle. He threw it away. It's intercepted. Holman the other way for Sally's. Dumps it off for Wright.
Excellent job of taking advantage of Taylor's mistake. He was in trouble. He should not have thrown that pass. They had numbers at the other end. Salesianum being very opportunistic here.
Sally's leads it 41-38. Possession arrow to their side if there's a jump ball. They've got 1 timeout left. Sanford has 2. The floating runner is not there by Elgood. And Sally's all of a sudden starting to take command, and then they lost it in a steal.
Just got to take your time. You have possession in the lead. You're in the bonus. Don't dribble the ball into traffic. Pick it up and possess it.
As a coach, Bill, you know it. Time and score in these possessions and this stage of the game so critical.
It goes back again to the fact that so many players in today's game want to just play too fast. There was no reason to push it. You've got the lead in the ball. The clock's running. It's the last thing you want to do. Possess the ball, take your time, spread the court, get away from potential double teams. Unfortunately, for a really good ball handler, Latrell Wright unfortunately made a mistake.
Well, each team kind of having a few mistakes late. It was Sanford earlier that just threw a hard pass out of bounds right off a player's hands, and here you're forcing the issue a little bit where you didn't need to, and you turn it over. And so Sanford with an opportunity, down 3. Still no baskets made in the 4th quarter and in overtime for Sanford as they trail it by 3 with 1:29 to go in OT.
Well, let's credit Salesianum's defense. I think they've really done a good job of moving their feet, getting in the way, affecting shots, not allowing straight line drives. That's really been the difference here in the second half. Their defense stepped up and made some really terrific plays. And that's team defense, not just 1 or 2 individuals.
A lot of time left here, 1:20 to go. Taylor's got it, goes on top. And they swing over to Farrell McNeil. Now it's Hart. He almost got it stolen away. Hart's got it. Off a high ball screen, a step back. Gets it back and he lost it. Taken away, stolen. Sally's combination there of Kevin Coleman and Nazir Logan.
Now you've got to make a decision to foul here. I have a feeling Salesianum will spread the court and hold the ball. So at some point here, if you can't get a trap going, you're going to have to foul.
Johnson back to right. And now they will. Yep, that's smart. Got to preserve as much time as you can here.
It'll be interesting to see if those technical foul shots that were made by Sally's might be the difference in this game. They made 2 at the start of the fourth quarter, and then they made 1 on the altercation underneath the basket.
It's really a great point, Bill, as White hits the first, and you'll have a lot of teaching moments in this game to your players about the intensity and in a rivalry where any little thing like that is the difference in the ball game. We're in overtime here. 1 of 2, 4-point lead. Elgood up top. Webster. Now to the corner and wide open for the 3. It's up. It's no good that time. And the shot by McNeil. And Sally's has it in the backcourt. 28 seconds, clock winding down, and a foul is called.
The other thing that's been so important here in the second half, Salesianum has defended their defensive glass. They've done a great job of blocking out, being physical, not only gathering the rebound, but then exiting it, because in this kind of pressure situation, Sanford's going to try to foul you or double team you.
Taylor Trevison's team here for Sally's. The late stages of this game in overtime, making the plays that they've had to. Free throw line, can they try to seal it? Wright is at the line. That helps the cause. 1 more, they can put them up 6.
And what Salesianum wants to do now defensively is not allow any threes. You want to extend your defense. A straight line drive here does not hurt you as much as a 3. And then rebound the ball on the miss.
Largest lead of the game for Sally's. 44-38. 25 seconds left in overtime. Oh, good for 3. Not there. Rebound Wright. Gets away from the pressure. He's going to be fouled as he gets into the front court by Webster. And Sally's fans behind the bench can feel it here with 18.3 seconds to go with OT and a 6-point lead.
This is going to be a huge win for Salesianum's confidence. They struggled in the early season with a difficult schedule. They've had some injuries. They're now just starting to get their team coalescing. Obviously, the reinsertion of their superb player, R.J. Johnson, to start the second half has been instrumental here in their comeback. But their defense collectively has been terrific. Latrell Wright has made a lot of big plays in the clutch. Completing this is almost Sanford-like. He's got the ball in his hands, and he's getting to the free throw line to ice the game.
45-38. Sally's just 15 seconds to go here in overtime. And finally, the first field goal made in the fourth quarter and overtime by McNeil, but not going to be enough here as the clock is winding down. And Sally's is going to win it here tonight. 45-41 over Sanford. To cap off the 9th and final game here of the 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic.
What an exciting game, a huge moment for Taylor Trevison and his Salesianum program. They were really tough tonight. Their defense ultimately was the difference for Sanford. A tough loss, but they'll learn a lot from this game. Khalid Hart will make some adjustments watching the tape, and they're going to be a very formidable team going forward. But it just tells you, to me, about the equality in the state. I made the point earlier in the show.
Right.
Maybe the best 3-10 team in the history of Delaware, and they certainly proved it tonight against a very formidable opponent. Mike, it's been a great fun as always. I look forward to seeing you every year. Best of luck in your travels with ESPN and others, and great job.
Bill, same here. Thank you for everything, all your work on Friday night and here tonight to wrap it up in this one. We've had a great staff putting this thing together, led by our great friend Jimmy Smith, our producer, our director, technical director, Jonathan Mondelli, our engineer, Mitch Owen. Bringing us all in here to get this thing ready to go. Thanks, Mitch, and the entire crew. Thomas Rashilla on graphics. Sean Kitchen did a great job with the audio, making it sound great here for us this weekend, along with Paul Janoka. Replay and cameras with Brad Comer, Grant Stelzer, Zach Fraley, Darnell Vaughn, Lauren Tyree. Thank you so much. And on Friday night, Scott Klotzkin with a play-by-play with you, Bill Harmon, and closing it out here with us tonight, Nick Alessandrini on play-by-play with Declan Landis, doing the analyst work for the first couple games today. Barnett Harris, our analyst, with us throughout the entire day today on Saturday as well. My brother, Brian Corey, doing the PA and stats with us as well. Awesome job. I'm Mike Corey. Thank you so much for watching. It's been an unbelievable tournament, a great weekend, a record-breaking weekend again for this foundation. A total of $674,324 raised here in year 7. 6 years total from 2019 to now 2025, and almost $2.9 million raised for the SL24 Foundation for Mental Health. The mission continues to educate, assist, and support high school and college students battling depression. We are so thankful to be here with you this weekend to help make it happen. For all of us, for the entire SL24 Foundation, once again, thanks for your donations and all that you've done here this year in 2025. That's going to wrap it up for the 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic from the Chase Fieldhouse in Wilmington, Delaware. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your weekend, everyone.
Reinvigorated.